Welcome back to another Minecraft update video. It's Snapshot 21w20a. This one is full of smaller changes that we are going to blitz through in this video. First of all, I wanted to mention that on Friday I'm going to be releasing a video related to 1.17 that you could consider a refresher and all the things that are being added. So go ahead, make sure you're subscribed if you want to catch that video. For now though, we're going to check out our first change, which is related to the Amethyst Geodes. In the last snapshot they were supposed to be made rarer, and they weren't. As you can see, well, I can spot 3 of them from this position here. So here we are in a different world. It's the same seed, but it was generated in the last snapshot. So you can see a lot of the terrain is the same. However, there's about 13 of these geodes. So this time the reduction of them has actually been implemented. There was also the possibility that a geode could intersect the stronghold portal room and actually break the end portal frame. And another structure that they could overlap with and destroy blocks from was the classic dungeon. And if they generated low enough down in the world, they could actually break bedrock blocks. They will no longer do any of these things. And a redstone change here. The block of amethyst can receive a redstone signal now, so it can be used to power other redstone elements. The narrator has been upgraded. It's now going to comment on various aspects of the GUI when the mouse hovers over it. So let's go ahead and listen for a moment.
Narrates all button. Selection list FOV effects off slider. Selection list element 7 out of 7.
So as you heard there, it just described more about what it is you're selecting when hovering over the options in the menu. And this snapshot also fixes a really old bug, number 610. We've all explored lots of Minecraft worlds and seen funky generation of grass, snow layers and flowers where they're floating and whatnot. And that's what's finally been fixed. You shouldn't see that anymore. The only thing that might still be affected are trees. It's an interesting change that'll probably affect how we farm the glow lichen with bone meal, but if you were to break a whole bunch of these, you'd only ever get 1 item. You can see we've actually got 3 sharing the same space here, and now we actually get all of those dropped. So then with 5 in total, we actually get 5. That's pretty cool. And on the topic of shears, I was watching Ilmango's video, and he discovered that shears can now be instant mined. Unfortunately, you can't achieve this with unenchanted shears and haste 2. You have to have them enchanted. Here is a parity change that I don't think's been implemented correctly, but tilling a rooted dirt will turn it into dirt, and it's supposed to pop off the hanging roots. Thing is, it does that, but the roots stay underneath the dirt. And this kind of makes sense because you can also put this block underneath dirt, so not entirely sure what's up with that change. And speaking of parity, here's another interesting change coming over from Bedrock Edition. Need to break this. If I set myself on fire, I do have resistance though, but now I'll stay on fire and I go inside of the cauldron, you can see the powdered snow gets converted to water. Also, a lava cauldron that was full up was emitting a redstone signal of 1, whereas a full cauldron should emit a redstone signal of 3, which you can see it now does. And I think possibly related to this change we saw a moment ago, here's an interesting new thing that's been added. If we go and use the data command to merge the data of this armor stand, and that is its name, with this tag, we can give it visual fire. This is a new tag that's been added. It means that it looks like on fire, but actually it's not. As you can see, it's not, taking damage and disappearing. Let's also now try that on a creeper to truly demonstrate. You see, it doesn't take any damage. It's just visually on fire. If you were playing in peaceful mode and happened to aggravate a llama, and it would then, attack you by spitting, well, that's not going to happen when you're playing in peaceful anymore. Now, if you were on a rideable mob going into powdered snow, that rideable mob wouldn't take damage. As you can see, it now takes freezing damage inside of the powdered snow. This is also true of parrots. However, what the parrots will do is dismount when you go into the powder snow. Now, candles have currently been removed, but there is a change related to them. You can put these out using splash water bottles like so, but not when they're on a cake. And now you can put it out when it's on a cake. And here is a good little quality of life change. When you get potion effects, you create fart bubbles around you, and these fart bubbles are actually visible through the spyglass layer. As you can see now though, the particle effects aren't appearing, yet when I step back like that we can see them, so that's a nice little improvement for using the spyglass. So out here in the snowy regions, polar bears and strays can spawn. However, when it comes to powdered snow, the polar bear would be able to spawn on the block that's below it, and therefore sort of spawn inside of it, but strays couldn't. The change is that strays will now be able to spawn inside of powder blocks naturally. When in creative mode, you can catch a creature underwater and it will give you a new bucket, and with fishies like the salmon, it was actually replacing that bucket, now it gives you a new one. And when it comes to the axolotl, it has a out of water cooldown, right? And what you could do is simply pick it up in its bucket like this, and that would reset the out of water cooldown. That will no longer happen. However, I'm just going to realize that when you place it back down, it would immediately be in water again. So, you know, that is what it is. And so the axolotl has received a lot of minor tweaks and changes, fixes and whatnot. For example, they could get stuck on top of a lily pad and just basically spin around and do nothing. They would also not avoid lava when they were pathfinding, which is of course bad for their health. There was a movement glitch that could cause them to get stuck on stairs. They could also get stuck inside of waterlogged blocks. They would also play dead when they took damage. They're supposed to play dead like this when they take damage from an entity, so environment damage won't cause them to play dead anymore. And there were a few more little tweaks and changes. Basically, in this snapshot, the axolotls got a lot of love. And two more things to mention. A snapshot or two ago, you may remember me saying that the bee could now pollinate with the glowberry or the cave vine. Still doesn't seem to do that, even though it's reported as doing so, and now when you press F3 on the right you can see it's part of bee growables. And the final thing to mention is the 1.18 data pack to preview the changes they made there. Well, it's been updated for this snapshot, however it has no new changes inside of it. And that brings us to the end of this one, so if you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and support the channel, and remember to subscribe and catch that 1.17 video that's coming out on Friday. I think you're going to like it. Anyway, thanks for checking out this one, and hopefully I'll see you next week with another. Bye-bye.